In this episode, you're going to discover one thing that successful people do consistently that makes them successful. So stay tuned. Hello, visionaries. Welcome to Create Your Vibrant Life podcast, where you can create the life you desire by tapping into your inner wisdom. I'm your host, Padma Ali. I'm widely known in the field of psychology to create long-lasting transformation. And now, I'm here to help you create the life you desire using a combination of neuropsychology and ancient healing practices. This podcast is for you, evolved, overachieving leader who's ready to unlock your highest potential. I'm here to guide you through a process of self-discovery to be the creator of your destiny. And you can do all of that by just taking aligned actions, tapping into the power of your brain, your inner wisdom, and ancient practices. So stay tuned, folks. I am so delighted you are here. Welcome to Create Your Vibrant Life podcast. This is your host, Padma Ali, and we are on to our 54th episode. And today's episode is the reason why successful people value this. So what specifically do they value? As I talk about this, it is going to become amply clear to you how powerful this practice is and how it can truly 100% benefit your life in amazing ways. So let me give you a cue. So the cue is, and this is something Oprah has referred to as well. And she says, gratitude is the attitude. So yes, I'm chuckling because successful people generally have an attitude of gratitude. Harvard published an article on how giving thanks can make someone happy. And if you look at the word gratitude, it's derived from the Latin word gratia, which means grace or gratefulness, graciousness, depending on whatever context it's placed in. And in many ways, if you look at gratitude, it encompasses everything. Think about a time when you feel grateful. Think about something you're very grateful for right now. And when you can tune into that, notice the grace that you feel. Notice the expansion that you feel when you think about something that you're grateful for. Now, gratitude is it's like a thankful appreciation for anything that you receive or you give, whether it's tangible or intangible, right? And it's usually with regards to something that you're receiving. And when you feel grateful, it's impossible to feel any other emotion, especially that of anger or sadness or jealousy or any of those negative emotions. It's impossible to feel that simultaneously with gratitude. And here's the piece. Gratitude actually does more than making you just feel good. And in this episode, I'm actually going to be talking about how it has the ability to create your vibrant life and to bring to you the life that you desire. So stay tuned till the end of this episode because I'm going to be sharing a really powerful exercise that you can start to practice and watch your life change. Now, there's so much research done on gratitude, but the one that really stood out to me is the one by Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman, you may have already heard of him. He talks a lot about positive psychology. He is a pioneer in positive psychology, and his research is it's beautiful. It's amazing. So I would invite you to go look him up if you haven't heard of him. And in this experiment, or in this research that he did, he basically had people write and personally deliver a letter of gratitude to someone who had never been properly thanked for his or her kindness. And the participants who wrote the letter felt such a huge increase in their happiness level and their happiness scores. And this impact, according to this research, was greater than any other intervention, and the benefits lasted for a long time. It said for more than a month. So if you notice in this experiment, this was someone delivering a letter to someone else saying thank you. But the person who felt the impact was the person giving the letter. Not even the person receiving the letter, but the one giving the letter. And that is one of the most powerful pieces of gratitude. Goodness, I'm really tripping over my words right now. And on a side note, I have started to do some batch recording of podcasts just to save time, and batch recording always helps me because then it frees up my time to do other things. And so I had made a commitment to do these podcast recordings on a particular day. And so I'm doing it right now. And it's pretty late in the evening. But because I made a commitment to myself, I'm doing it. And this is how I roll. So bear with me. So that's just a side note. And the other experiment that also stood out to me was two psychologists who basically what they did was they had one group write down the things that they were grateful for that occurred during the week. A second group, they made them write down all the daily annoyances and irritations and things that bothered them. And the third group wrote down events, but without any emphasis on the emotions. And after 10 weeks, the group that wrote down the gratitude or what they were grateful for were much more optimistic and felt better about their lives. And also they had less negative emotions during those 10 weeks. So it's really, really powerful. So when you can feel grateful, right? When you can feel grateful, you have the capacity to really change your life. How? Let's talk about how this can impact your life in the most positive way, not just in a positive way, but also helping you create the life that you desire. That's the whole podcast. The podcast is about how can you impact your own life in a positive way and create the life that you want. Now, what does gratitude do? Just think about it for a minute. Again, think about something that you're truly, truly grateful for. And if it's hard for you to pick something you're grateful for, I'm going to give you one simple thing that right now I know you can be grateful for, which is your hearing. You're hearing me through your ears. Without that hearing, without this ability to hear, you won't be able to hear anything. So even having gratitude for your eyes, for your ears, for your fingers, and for your heart, things that we normally don't even think about. When you can even start having gratitude for that, just notice how you start to feel on the inside. And when we feel good on the inside, it changes our outer reality. Now, even if you don't believe in metaphysics or quantum physics, I invite you to think about this. So what happens when you feel good? How do you act? Your behavior follows your feelings. Now, if you feel good, how do you act? When you don't feel good, when you feel bad, how do you act? In general, I really refrain from using the words good and bad because life is not black and white as good and bad. There's often gray, and I personally don't think they're good things and bad things. They're just or good behavior or bad behavior. It's just behavior, right? It's just something that we have labeled as good or bad, and it doesn't make it good or bad. So the bottom line is, when you feel good, you're going to take actions that reflect that feeling. And when you don't feel good, you're going to take actions that reflect that feeling. Neuropsychology, which is one of my core pillars, which is all about how the brain affects your nervous system, right? And thoughts affect our nervous system. When you feel gratitude, it affects the nervous system in a positive way. And when we feel positive, again, everything else gets impacted from that place. I also believe that, and it's not just me believing, research has shown that everything has vibration and frequency. We're all vibrating at a particular frequency based on our emotions. And those emotions, those particular frequencies will attract certain events or experiences back into your life. Now, I don't want you to go into, if something is not going according to what you wanted to go in your life, like somehow you caused it, or it was your negative thought or your negative emotion that caused that particular event or incident. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's an invitation to go and see, okay, what can I learn from this? What can I take away from this? Or what is the universe trying to tell me one more time that I need to learn from this experience? What is it that I need to let go of? And similarly, when you feel good, right? When you are in gratitude, when you are in that state of vibration, you are going to attract events in your life that's going to make you more and more grateful. And even if something happens where you're like, I didn't want that. I didn't want this particular event or something. Maybe you lost your wallet. Maybe something happened. What if you dropped into gratitude even in that moment? What is one positive thing that you can take away from that moment, even if it doesn't feel positive at all? And this is practice. This is creating a new muscle. This is creating a new way of thinking and being. And trust me, the more you feel good inside, the more you're going to have better experiences on the outside. These things won't impact you, won't bother you. And if I asked you right now, are you grateful? You're probably going to say, yes, I am grateful. But can you really, really drop into that deep level of gratitude? And most people will say, yes, I am grateful. I am grateful for my life. But I'm inviting you to go a little bit more deeper. How can you feel grateful? How can you bring in gratitude as a practice, as a habit every single day? And I'm going to share with you 2 ways that I practice gratitude, and I even teach my kids this. And it is something that we have to get more into practice with my kids, with my children. But when you can bring in gratitude, even for the things that are not going well, I promise you, I guarantee you, you're going to feel different. Because in those moments when you can feel gratitude for even the hardest things you're going through right now. And I can tell you right now, as I reflect back on my life and when I was very sick, and the turning point was coming to a place of complete surrender. You've heard that story. But what completely shifted it was having gratitude for my illness. And that took time. That did not happen overnight. It took time to say, I'm actually grateful for this. And I truly am. When I reflect back on my life, I could not have wanted it to go any other way because I learned so much. So much. And now I do not take my health for granted. I have complete gratitude for my health every single day. So I'm going to share with you 2 ways that I practice gratitude. And this is something, the first one I learned from my father, who has passed on, and he's no longer on this planet. So every morning when he would wake up, the moment his feet touched the ground, he would say thank you. Thank you to the earth. He would say thank you to his feet. Thank you to his entire body. He would start his day by saying thank you. He was also pretty religious, so he would also he would also connect with God and say thank you to God. And I have taken on that practice in a different way. So when I wake up, the first thing I do is say a prayer of gratitude, just a small saying thank you to each part of my body. I start with my head all the way to my feet. But when I put my feet on the ground, I feel so much gratitude for my home, for this earth, for supporting me, for being alive on this planet at this point in time. I don't know if you know the enormity of this. The fact that you're alive itself is a huge miracle. What is the research? What does it say? One sperm in a million? Is that right? Is the only one in a million sperm is what fertilizes an egg. 1 in a million. The fact that you're alive itself is a huge miracle. And there was never anyone like you, and there will be never anyone like you. Ever on this continuum. Even if you believe in future, past lives and future lives, there is going to be no one with this particular makeup. So what if you had gratitude for the fact that you are here? You are here, experiencing this life, experiencing the beauty. How do you feel when you watch a beautiful full moon going in and out of clouds? Or just feeling your feet on the sand as you're walking on the beach, hearing the waves. Or watching a beautiful sunset. That bringing in that level of peace and gratitude every single day. And so when my feet touch the ground, I have gratitude. I have gratitude for the fact that I'm here. I'm alive, for my home, for the warmth of my home, for being here. And the reason I have so much gratitude for being alive is because I didn't want to be alive for the longest time. I will share this in another future episode where the first so-called, it wasn't fully formulated as a 5-year-old, but my first so-called suicidal thoughts started when I was 5. And I wouldn't even call them suicidal because as a 5-year-old, you don't know what that even means, right? But there was this desire to not be on this planet. And the desire was very strong. For the longest time, I felt it. It's only now, well into my 40s, that I'm actually like, wow, I like being alive. I like being here. And it's taken a long time to get here. So I have a lot of gratitude for being alive. And the second thing, another way to practice gratitude, to make it a habit. And this is extraordinarily powerful. And it can actually cause healing as well when you practice this. Now, we all drink water every single day. Right? Every single day, we all drink multiple glasses of water. What if you infused your water with gratitude? In last week's episode, we talked about Dr. Emoto's experiment with water. What if you infused your glass of water with gratitude, and also imagined it going and healing your body, your mind, restoring every cell in your body? Imagine the effect of that. And this is extraordinarily powerful when you can practice these two every single day. Start to notice how your life changes. These are simple but extraordinarily powerful. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. I want you to practice this at least for 21 days or 30 days. You know how the habit formation happens. And just notice how different your life feels. And it's amazing, amazing. Many times I just sit And for just a few minutes, I just drop into my heart and I just breathe and I notice my heart beating and have gratitude for that. And everything feels expansive. Everything feels calm, quiet, no matter what's happening in my outside. And that is an amazing place to land every single day. Now, I'm going to share with you the most powerful exercise of gratitude that's going to help you manifest your desires. This is how you can get to create the life you desire. You ready? Create a future gratitude list as though it's already happened. In present tense, create a future gratitude list as though it's already happened. How will you feel? How will you feel when whatever you are desiring has already happened? Think about something that you truly desire. I want you to pick just one thing right now. Just one thing. It can be a simple thing like a pair of shoes. I don't care. Okay? Or a home, or a vacation, or something that you've been truly, or a particular amount of money. I don't care. Like, just pick one thing that you truly desire. And close your eyes if you're not driving. And imagine it's already happened. It's here. You're holding that in your hand right now. Whatever that is. Key to your home, your new pair of shoes, whatever it is that you are desiring, just you're holding that in your hand. Just feel the gratitude. Feel how amazing it feels. And now say thank you to that. Thank you for whatever that is you're wanting to manifest as though it's already happened. Now I'm going to invite you this week to write down a list of everything that you desire as though it's already happened. And allow that to manifest. It will happen. You know, whatever you desire is already here. It's already done. It happens. Every single thing. Think about whatever you wanted in your life. It's happened. And if it hasn't happened, which there's some few things that hasn't happened, when I look back on the things that I really, really wanted and it didn't happen, when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, thank God that didn't happen. You know, the funny example I can give you is the person I was dating when I was in college, and oh my God, and when that relationship ended, I was so devastated. It was like the most horrible thing that ever happened. And now when I look back, I'm like, oh my goodness, thank God that relationship didn't work out. It was a disaster to begin with. So, you know, there's a reason we can only connect the dots when we look back. And if something hasn't happened the way you wanted it to happen, you probably weren't either ready for it or it wasn't right for you. And it's so powerful when you can create a future gratitude list as though it's already happened, and then just watch. You'll be ticking every single thing on that list. And if it hasn't happened, then you know why, and let it go. Something better is in store. So anytime I do a practice like this, I always put the phrase, this or something better, this or something better, this or something better. Because again, your words are extraordinarily powerful. And by saying that to the universe is going to be like, okay, either this or something even better than that is on its way to you. That concludes this episode. And I invite you to share your takeaways with me on Instagram. That's where you'll find me. And also follow me on Clubhouse with my name if you are on it. And if you need an invite to Clubhouse, if you are one of my listeners, feel free to DM me on Instagram and I can see if I have some extra invitations to get you onto that platform. Anyways, I am so grateful for each of you listeners, and for allowing me to serve you in this way. It is my desire, it is my dream to reach as many people, to uplift as many people as I can through my words. And you're making this happen by listening to it and sharing it and even giving your reviews, because that's how these downloads are happening. I'm so grateful. I'm incredibly grateful, especially because we're coming to a year mark of this podcast having started this podcast. And I'm so grateful, so grateful. So thank you, visionaries, for being a part of this journey. And if I can serve you in any other way, please let me know. Thank you so much for listening. I have a request for you. If you found value, chances are that your friends and family will too. So if you can leave a positive review on iTunes, it will help reach so many more people. And if you have any topics or questions you would like me to feature, please send them to support@padmaali.com. And lastly, please share your takeaways and breakthroughs with me on Instagram @Padma Ali. Thank you so much for tuning in.